will be on the Chicago Bears landing Ben Johnson. And I think the most interesting thing about this is how there's almost a full circle feel to it. And if you go back a year, I think this was the job that Ben Johnson wanted. And it didn't wind up coming open. Matt Eberflus's team caught fire at the end of the year. He got a bit of a stay of execution there. And they ran it back with he and Ryan Poles in 2024. We all know how that went this year. And so over the course of the months after, the Bears decided to stick with Eberflus and Ben Johnson decided to stick with the Lions. They sort of reconfigured some of their priorities where I think for the Bears, initially looking at it after firing Matt Eberflus, they said, we need a leader of men. We need somebody who can coach more than just one guy. We need somebody who can come in and be kind of the tip of the spear, the front of the program. On the other end, I think Ben Johnson used the time that he had over the last year to recalibrate some things that he was looking at, what was important to him, and really kind of maybe looking inward at the Lions organization and what they had provided for him and everybody else over the last few years. So he started to look at it and say, I'm going to prioritize alignment with the general manager. I'm going to prioritize an ownership group that's not only going to support you, but also be able and willing to identify its own previous mistakes and go in and fix them, much like the Lions did under Sheila Ford over the last few years, and much like the Lions have had with Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell since 2021. So over the last, I'd say 2 months since firing Matt Eberflus, the Bears did get a better look at what it looked like when the quarterback isn't taken care of. So not to say the guys in there weren't trying, but Thomas Brown had been stretched so thin from going from pass game coordinator to offensive coordinator to head coach. They just didn't have the resources devoted to the quarterback. So the Bears double back and look at it and say the quarterback is going to be an important part of this. We still want the leader of men, but the quarterback's got to be taken care of. Meanwhile, the interview process starts and Ben Johnson goes out looking, and he's a little surprised with how well he hit it off with Ryan Poles in that meeting room and really liked how Ryan Poles was reflective over his first 3 years. Really smart guy who was able to look back and say, I made mistakes on A, B, C, and D, and it's not going to happen again because I've learned from it. At the same time, going in with George McCaskey and Kevin Warren and really getting a good feel for them, he started to find some of the things that he was looking for. And beyond just the quarterback, beyond just the fact that Caleb Williams was there, he got a better idea of what the Bears could offer him from a structural standpoint, from an ownership standpoint. And once those boxes started to check, you look at it and you say, okay, like, could this come together? Will this come together? And then the final piece, of course, is you look at the quarterback and what's best for the quarterback. And Ben Johnson, I think, is going to be really, really good for Caleb Williams. So that comes together. Obviously, a big domino to fall. Timeline of it, Saturday night, the Lions lose. Ben takes the day on Sunday to reset and to dig out, do all the work you got to do in Detroit to dig out from under the season. Sunday night, he reconvenes with his agent. They debrief on the 3 teams that are out there in pursuit, in the Raiders, the Jaguars, and of course the Lions or the Bears. And not that every one of them had a solid offer on the table, but those were the options at that point. Monday morning they talk some more, and then Monday afternoon Ben informs his agent to go get a deal done with the Bears. And now we are where we are, where the Bears have the bell of the ball. They've landed Ben Johnson. And Caleb Williams has a guy that he can build with over the next few years.